Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone that can hear the sound of my voice to this week's edition of the Petty and Ill-Informed podcast. I know for our American viewers, we might be an hour late, but that is because of daylight savings time, and we go on UK time. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, Tom. How are you?
Yeah, doing all right. Just let's see. Had a pretty productive day. I went into a town nearby called Birchington to meet up with an old school friend for lunch, and that was really cool. A guy called Matt, and we caught up with him, just chit chatted about school, sport, Andy Murray's latest struggles, and yeah, some stuff, just stuff like that. Went into a few charity shops, found a sort of building kit type game that some of the kids in my class should hopefully really enjoy and get a lot out of. And that's that was did the week's shopping, which was more expensive than it should have been, but bought a few things for other people here and there actually. Well, Nikki really likes these drumstick squashy sweets. She's a big fan
Yeah,
of
they are
them.
delicious.
They're great. They're not vegan or even vegetarian. They've got gelatin in them, but Aldi's do their own version of them. That is, I would say, 95% as nice and is vegan friendly. So yeah, enjoying those. And yeah, grabbed a few bits and bobs, and it ended up being a bit more expensive than it should have been. God, my kid had a. I say I'm not. It's not often I look at a meat dish with any sort of envy, but yeah. And if I do, it should be something a bit more sophisticated than this. But got my one of my kids a cheeseburger pizza, and it looked amazing. To be honest, it was a stuffed crust. It was just from Aldi.
Yeah,
The stuffed
yeah,
crust
no, I know what you're talking about. Yes,
cheeseburger
yes, those
pizza. It
things
had
are
these
delicious.
gherkins on it. It had these squirts of burger sauce all over it, bits of bacon and cheese, a bit of bacon and beef and things like that. And it looked absolutely bloody amazing. To be fair, it really did.
Yeah, those things
Um,
are delicious.
oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Uh, there was that. Just did nothing much. Just did the week's shopping. And let's see what else. What else to tell? School is really interesting. It's the one area of my life where I really struggle. In all other ways of life, I managed to do okay, pretty by and large, keeping myself healthy, keeping a house, looking after my wife and kids, and have them look after me. Most of my friendships tick along without major hiccups. And I've got good relationships with with most people because I consider myself quite a people person. But but yeah, work it's always and it always feels like it's an uphill battle. For one reason or another, it just does. Yeah. So I had one piece of work I insisted I do tonight before the podcast, and to be fair, I did it. I did it in two parts. Uh, Gave myself a break in the middle to plug my phone into my laptop and put one of my favourite bands, Delirium, sort of chill out, ambient, world beat, bit of everything. Really, 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 really good when they're at their very best. Oh my word, some of this stuff's a bit crap.
Yeah.
But I put it all did transfer that onto my phone, did my other bit of work, did it to music, not looking at the TV, and that was so that was really cool. And I need to be doing that sort of thing several times after the podcast to make sure that I get done what I need to get done tonight. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm also doing a bit of DIY. I'm putting a set of I'm putting a set of shelves together, and I'm just busy assembling that. So I'm trying to multitask, which is normally fatal. But again, I don't seem to be doing too bad a job. I don't think I'm screwing this up just yet. So yeah, all's well with me. Oh, I've actually, for the first time ever, really, I'm working with an ADHD coach to try and sort of unpick sort of my relationship with my work that I have to do at home. And I'm not talking about in the classroom with the kids. I'm talking about because again, I don't do, I do pretty much the best I can there, and things are by and large pretty healthy there. Touch wood. But I don't. It's my relationship with work at home. Everything takes far too long, much longer than it should, and yeah, it just means that I just want to have get more done in less time. But hey, a story of my life. So, can you still hear me, Richard?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh, good.
What's up?
I just wondered if it had cut out. Well, I wouldn't necessarily have even known about it. Yeah. So that's about all there is to tell for now. How about you, Richard? What's new with you?
Yeah, it's been a pretty good week. Well, no, actually. I failed my driving test, my practical driving test, and I was really bummed out about
I didn't know you couldn't drive. I thought you could for your work.
that. I can drive, but I just all the cops around here know I ain't got a license now, so I had to get one. Um, so yeah, yeah.
So
Right.
hang on, you've been driving without a license for some time or something.
Yeah, for like 10 years.
Okay.
I didn't want to put myself at the mercy of the
How?
DVLA.
So what you've been? Is this your way of sort of trying to be off the grid in that sense?
No, the roads are completely unregulated, right? As soon as you get your license, you can drive however you want with little or no consequence. I just didn't see the point in going through that process.
Right. Okay. Well,
I
okay.
mean,
I mean,
like, you
go
know,
on.
like I've driven without a license for a while. I've been caught, and I didn't do any jail time, and it was just a fine. So I mean, like, there's no real consequence. But I can't really afford the fines anymore, and the police know I ain't got one now.
Yeah.
So I had to get one.
Sorry. Go on.
So I had to get one. And, imagine the bloody indignity of being told you failed by some bloody job's worth.
Oh well. Yeah. I can see what you mean. Yeah. What went wrong?
Someone pulled out in front of me in a roundabout, and the examiner had to put his foot on the brake. Well, he didn't have to. He chose to. But.
Right. Oh, I see.
No, they
No,
do
well,
not,
that's
Gabby. I have watched enough sovereign citizens videos to know that they do not arrest you and impound your car every time if you get caught with driving without a license in America.
oh well. No, that's the first time Gabby went to jail apparently for having an impounded, uh, illegally driving a car.
But not the last time.
Yeah, it says the first. It says that's the first time I went to jail. How many times has Gabby? How many times have you been in jail? That'd be an
I
interesting
can't.
one. Do we want to know? I didn't know she'd been once.
I don't know. You had a guessing game you wanted to play?
Yeah, just one thing. Okay, so um, I wonder if Gabby would be interested in joining in this. Gabby, will keep an eye on you in the chat. It doesn't seem to be anyone else there but her tonight. But we love you, Gabby. Well, sort of.
We do love you.
Indeed. So what I was going to say, yeah, I had a lunch break, and I think it was Thursday, maybe Friday. I'm not sure which, but I had a lunch break. It was Friday. It was Friday. So just yesterday, I had a lunch break, and I went down with a pot noodle.
Delicious pot noodle.
Sorry.
What flavour pot noodle?
Well, it was a mock pot noodle. It was just Tesco's own curry flavour noodle snack. It was about as cheap and cheerful as you can get. And the thing was about 60p.
And that's vegan.
Yeah. Loads of pot noodles are vegan. Loads of them are. The Bombay Bad Boy is. The new Doner Kebab one is, believe it or not. Irony of ironies. That's vegan.
How can there's a doner kebab pot noodle?
Yeah, it's really good. It genuinely does taste like a doner kebab. It's
I've got to get
brilliant.
my hands on one of them.
Oh, I don't know. You'll be eating something with a vegan label. Would you be seen dead doing that?
Doner kebabs are literally my favourite fast food on the planet, so I'll take the risk. Fucking love kebabs.
Doners are great. Everyone knows it. Yeah, everyone knows Donner's rock. What was I going to say? So I went to the staff room and I only had about 12 minutes for lunch. I had almost no, Gabby. I did not burn any part of me, for heaven's sake. So I went to the staff room, ripped the top off my pot noodle, poured in the water. As you do, just to let your noodles brew. But opened the cutlery drawer, and to my dismay, there was no forks and no spoons, just a handful of table knives, standard table knives, not chef's knives for chopping up fruit and meat and veg and fish and stuff, but just table knives, as in a knife and fork, just knives. I had a very short window to have my lunch in. I didn't have time to go anywhere and go to the school canteen and get some forks or anything like that. So how did I manage to eat or consume, or whatever you call it, my pot noodle?
Yeah, good question.
So what do you think, Gabby? How did I manage to eat my pot noodle? Let's see if Gabby can. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so
I'm pretty sure I know.
Okay, I didn't fold up the paper top. That happened when we were climbing a mountain in Wales, and hot noodle and flasks of water was the lunch, and no one packed any spoons. And that's how we kind of had to use those as scoops, or we had to just drink them like soup, like noodle soup. So it wasn't that, Gabby. So what do you think, Richard?
What do I think? I think you put it in your drinking cup and pretended it was normal coffee.
No, I didn't do that. My drinking cup was in my classroom, and I was sort of a fair distance from that in the staff room. No, it wasn't that.
Okay. What then? How?
Okay. Oh, for heaven's sake. Lord have mercy on Gabby's soul. No, I didn't do that either. No, what I did was I grabbed two of the knives, turned them the wrong way round, and improvised them as a pair of chopsticks. And believe it or not, it actually worked. I was rather crudely able to use those to scoop up the noodles and eat them in a very short time. And I thought that was reasonably resourceful of me, actually.
Yeah, I mean, It was incredibly resourceful. Why didn't you just drink it?
It was hot. Every mouthful needed blowing cold for sure.
Oh, okay.
So that's why. Yeah. Um. So. Uh. Yeah. There you go. Um. Did that. Uh. I've been to. I've had to go to the doctor about my knee because I've got. It's just a dodgy knee, isn't it? It's just it aches a bit to it aches a little bit to bend, and I've been if you kneel down on it for any length of time, it starts to hurt. I don't know how I did it or even when. It's just been there for ages. And I went to last week. I went to a nurse about that. Just minor injuries in Whitstable were, and yeah. So I did that. Uh, and the nurse just said it's nothing to worry about. It's just it's just one of those things. See how it goes. She gave it a bit of a squidge in different places and said it's the tendons on either side that are a bit strained. It's not the kneecap or anything. And so yeah, it's just don't do anything that is gonna really make it worse. She advised me not to run anywhere. She advised me to cycle instead, which I'm all in favour of because I like cycling. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
cycling's fun.
Sorry.
Cycling is fun. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It's wicked. Um, have you got a nice bike, Richard?
It's a bike. I don't think it's nice. It's like third hand and rusty, but it gets me around when I want to go for a bike ride. There's a nice 14-mile cycle around the island, which is just that's a 4 hours it takes, and that's a good one on Sunday
That actually
uh,
sounds really, really cool.
during this summer.
Yeah, that actually sounds fabulous.
Hmm.
Well, it does to me anyway. Oh, game on. Ah, so, um, I love a good bike ride. I mean, from where we are, you can go. We're not like in the heart of sort of urban areas, so we can get about relatively easily. And we're by the Crab and Winkle Way, which is a designated bike ride. It's a designated bike ride between Whitstable and Canterbury. Uh, I've got a story for you on this one. Oh my days! Got time for a story, Richard?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my word, this was special, even by my standards. Oh Jesus, this is. I keep a catalogue of WFDs. It stands for well fucking done, and it's fails, mistakes, errors, catastrophes, and so on. And this was every bit all of the above. I used to ride on the Crab and Winkle Way is a bike ride between the towns of Canterbury and Whitstable. It is built on, or much of it is on the route is designed around the original train line from Whitstable to Canterbury, which it's controversial. People don't all quite agree on it, but it's one of the first railways in Britain was Whitstable to Canterbury. And it was nicknamed the Crab and Winkle line. It closed in the 1960s, and it's now a bike ride. It's lovely. It's a really cool little ride. But people are pretty reckless on it. And I was certainly one of those people. So the scene is I'm coming back from work. I used to work in Whitstable and live in Canterbury, and I'm coming back and I'm riding my bike. And
And
Gabby, sorry, Gabby's just roasting me over my language. Yes, that's rare. That's rare of me, Gabby. I know. Forgive me for dropping the F-bomb. 1,000 apologies, Your Highness. So
Your Majesty, 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 Majesty.
she's funny, isn't she? So what happened was I'm riding my bike and there's this bit where it goes down a little hill. Just going, only about 30, 40 yards, but it goes down a little bit. And then it turns a bend and it goes up a bit. And what everybody does, and that's no excuse, no, everyone else does it, so I did it too. But yeah, I did. I went full pelt down this little hill, turn the corner, and you keep to the racing line. You sort of, as you do with it in a Formula One car, you go from the outside to go around the corner as fast as possible. You want to take the widest arc, which involves, you're on the far left. You're going. The bend is a slight bend to the right. You go far on the left, and then you go over, and then just at the apex of the bend, you're on the right hand side, and then you glide up and go back to the left. But just as I went round the corner, full pelt on this bike of mine, is that I go around the corner, and it was the height of summer. All the bushes were. In the winter, you can see round it a lot more and see through the sticks, and it's a bit safer. But full summer, greenery everywhere. I go around the corner, bang. Smack straight into this old guy on his bike. And I went flying off forwards. Did a full somersault and ended up just sat on my ass. I realised straight away I wasn't hurt and sprang up and turned back. And I turned back, and then there was just going off at the corner of this little corner. There was this. I don't need to exaggerate anything. The facts do it bonkers enough as it was, and there was this massive cluster of stinging nails, and then there was this sort of alleyway of squashed ones, and I knew that's where this guy had gone, and so I went down it at like 10 yards, and there's this clearing, this circle in the nettles, and there's this bike, and then there's this further little alleyway of carved squashed metals, and then there's another little clearing, and he's lying down in that.
Oof.
And I was just like, shit. I can only laugh about it now. At the time, I was terrified, mortified. And
I can laugh about it now, but he was dead. He was very clearly
because
dead.
I know now it was all fine. It was all. And he just he turned around and he went, just as he was getting up, he went, "What the devil do you think you're doing? Have you never heard of right on the left?"
Yeah. Oh, what was he a posho?
I got him to his feet and he came up, and I was all grovelly and apologies. I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm really sorry, mate. Oh, I'm sorry, man." And he's like, he goes, so well, you can imagine my shock. He goes, look at that. And we surveyed the damage on his bike. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. And and he was like, really? Yes. And then he hands over his what was it? He in the end he said, look at this, and he showed me the damage. No, it's been ripped clean off. He said, well, I dare say I can repair some of this. I said, look, mate, I'm really sorry. And then he says, and then he goes, right, and he goes, well, yes, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for everything. I'm sorry, and I'm just thinking, don't sue me. Just don't sue me. Just don't sue me. I do not need a personal damages case. I really don't. And so this farce went on, and he and then in the end he pulls out his wallet. He goes, well, just contact me through my card. And he says, and he just sort of, he trusted me to do it, and I did. And he hands over his card, and it says on it, Professor Bob Newport, Chair of Materials Physics, University of Kent at Canterbury. I decked a professor.
Okay, that's an interesting way of introducing yourself.
Oh no! So I used to have this card. I lost it somewhere along the way. I wish I still had it, but I've lost it. But do you know what I do have? Is the email exchange. Oh my word! It's pure Shakespeare at times, mate. I tell you. Oh, it's special stuff. It's truly special stuff. This what he wrote in his And what he wrote in it's what he was writing to me. Oh, it's magic, man. So it's hang about. So I've got a bit of I've encountered a bit of a problem with my light. It's a bit of it's been not been quite up to standard, but never mind. So back to Bob. Yeah, the email. Oh, his emails were absolutely hilarious, Richard. I'm telling you, I should really, what I should do is go into the room and find them and fetch them and read them out because they're, they're pretty special. It's it's bucket woman language. Hyacinth keeping up appearances.
Mm-hmm.
They read like that. They genuinely read like that.
Mrs. Bouquet.
Yeah, that's the one. That's a oh man. I'm a plonker. I've just realised I've done part of this upside down. I have. I'm gonna have to. We're gonna have to undo the bit at the bottom. I've made a right pig's ear of it, but never mind. I'm nearly winning with these shelves. So yeah, there we are. That's what happened. But then he emailed me. He his language was things like, I've no wish to impose any draconian penalties, especially as a valuable lesson seems to have been learned. It was so.
Oh, it's just pretentious.
Oh, it was. It was so pretentious. It was glorious. No, it was absolutely wonderful. This stuff. It was almost worth it just to be on the receiving end of these emails. And in the end, he billed me for everything. He billed me for his antihistamines. That was he itemized everything, and his clothes from Marks and Spencers that were ruined and things like that. I had to pay for those, and I sent him a check.
How could he possibly? Were they ruined, or did they just go into stealing nails? Because it sounds like he was just chancing.
They were absolutely caked in green. He was right.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't pulling my leg. Oh, it was so funny, mate. But there you go. But that's what happened, isn't it? That was my delightful experience with Bob. But I tell you, I didn't ride safe after that, and I wouldn't tell. I learned life lesson well and truly learned there. It was really reckless, and afterwards, I kept an eye out. And my word, there's a lot of people riding very recklessly on that. Again, just same thing, bombing it round blind corners, blind, far too fast.
Well, enjoying their little bike ride.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. It was that's people. Yeah. So that's that was a thing. But no, I do. I keep actually these WFDs, as I prefer to call them. Heaven forbid I profane again, Gabby. Oh, how much did I pay? Oh, Gabby, how much did I pay? About £100 maybe. So that's like $120, $30 maybe, something like that. Mrs. Bucket.
No, it's about $100. The exchange rate is 1 for 1 at the moment.
You're joking.
Nope.
That's a threshold that's never been. It's never been a threshold that's never been crossed in my lifetime. Actually, is where one single pound is worth less than one of anything.
Well, 20 years of Tory austerity, and
the day it gets you 99 cents is a sad day for me, and that's probably it's happening now if it hasn't already. Yeah.
Gabby's had a bad week, so she's pretty angry. That's probably why she's snapping off at you, Tom.
Yeah.
Tested positive for a few STDs, didn't we, Gabby?
She's not. Is she? I hope you're joking, and she's not telling that over the internet.
No, she got chlamydia.
Oh.
I told her you've got to. She keeps getting it, so she's got to stop sleeping with one of them.
Well, you've got to look after yourself. You've got keep yourself safe doing. Do it in anything you do. You've got to do it safely. I mean, in all walks of life. Yeah. Oh. 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 So, it's a friend of mine at work's birthday, and I had to, I'm choosing to buy them some beer. And
nice.
so I've had to think about exactly what beer it is I'd like to buy them. And had to
What
think
did the
about that.
conclusion come to?
Well, I wanted a bit of a variety as well. So first off, I went to Tesco's and it was four beers for £7, and I had a box. I have a box that has three, so I thought, great, I'll get three and I'll get one more. One for a different purpose. So what I chose first of all was Old Crafty Hen. That's I don't
That's
know
a
if
good beer.
you know it, do you?
I do.
It's
I'd call it an ale, not a beer, but yeah.
Mate. Sorry, that goes without saying. I only drink ale.
Yeah, I hate to admit it, but so do I. I'm at that age now where I only prefer ale.
I love a good ale. Oh, all the way. Ales are great. I'm not sure we've even talked about this before. Yeah, this can be bike crashes and real ale. Now,
And
so the
real
next
ale.
one I went for was Badger Champion. Do you know Badger Brewery? They're really, really good, man.
Yes, they do thirsty ferrets.
They do. That's not my personal favourite. That's a very sort of mainstream one. The Thirsty Ferret and Hopping Hare. They're both sort of very mainstream. I think if you go with my there's nothing wrong with them. It's just I prefer their more adventurous ones myself.
Obviously, yeah. You're a vegan, of course. You want to have the non-mainstream option, don't?
Well,
We all know how it goes, and you drink it out of a jam jar in your
no,
cargo shorts and your beanie. We
no,
we we know what the deal is, Tom.
I'm not a fully fledged hipster. Not that there's anything wrong with hipsters. I just happen
You,
not to
you,
be one.
you just
Um,
said that's something mainstream, and I prefer the non-mainstream. You're a hipster, Tom.
well, no, I just happen to prefer this one, not because it's non-mainstream, it's because they're kind of fruity. They're Blandford Fly is kind of gingery. Poacher's Choice is kind of licoricey. And
Oh my God! Speaking of fruity, the amount of effort it took to get Nikki to try Koppenberg when I knew she was going to love them.
it's a
Oh,
ref that did it. She went bananas over it.
yeah, she did. She was like, "Oh my God, this is the best cider ever," and I was like, "I told you were going to like it."
So how many days of possibly drinking it did she waste not drinking it, thinking she wouldn't like
It
it?
was literally the last night. We were in we were in Dublin in a bar in the hotel bar, getting ready to go to bed for the early flight, and I was finally convinced her. Where I was like, "Oh, try Koppenberg. You're gonna love it. I'm gonna have one of these IPA because they didn't have proper ale; they just had IPAs." And I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna have one of
Yeah.
these." And I was like, "Have a Koppenberg." And she was like, "Oh, okay, I'll try a Koppenberg." And then she was like, "Oh my God, this is so good!" And I was like, "I know."
Oh dear. Well, she's because of that. I mean, every once in a while, Nikki and I sort of mail stuff across the pond and things. And
Yeah.
So I got her. I grabbed her Alska. Now Alska they're not exclusively Aldi, I don't think, but Aldi sell them. And they might sell them in IKEA as well. Maybe, I'm not sure. It's the kind of thing they'd sell in IKEA, and in their food place. So I got this. I got. I think. Strawberry and lime and Nordic berries. I got a can of each of those, and they're Alska's staple ones. And I want to find her some I want to find us some other ones. But all the other flavors, they're all sort of they come and go. They're a bit more temporary, and none of them seem to be quite as nice as their staple two. You know, those are with those two, the Nordic berries and the strawberry and lime. I think it's strawberry and lime. The can's only just round the corner. Let me find it. Hang on, here it is, and it is yes, strawberry and lime. Shucking it down with rain out here. How about you up there, Richard?
No, it's calm. We've had our bit with the storm.
All right.
You guys can have it now.
Okay. Well, thank you. Most how kind, how gracious. Yeah.
You're right. You flooded out or anything? Because Northern
No.
Ireland's completely flooded out.
And we've had enough of that.
Yeah.
What's flooded out?
Northern Ireland.
Oh. All right. How blimey. It's not nice up there. I mean, this sort of weather, it's not nice. It's really full on. No thanks. Oh. So I was going to say the third beer. Sorry, I want to get a variety, and I think the other one I'll do is St Austell's Proper Job. Do you know that one?
That's the first one you've mentioned. I don't.
No, right. St Austell Proper Job. It is the freshest tasting beer I've ever found. I mean, it tastes like it has just been, poured from a keg a cask at a beer festival. It's ridiculously fresh. It's amazing. It is an IPA, but it's really earthy, and it's just absolutely delicious. And I was going to get that to sort of as the third part of the trilogy. And I didn't get that in what I don't think it wasn't in the deal. It wasn't in the 4 for £7 deal. So I bought 2 bottles of Innocent Gun. Do you know Innocent Gun?
No.
Oh mate, you're missing out. Right, you're a standard supermarket will have it, Tesco's and things like that. It is absolutely delicious. It's similar to old Crafty Hen. It's that sort of vein, that sort of deep raisiny fruity thing. But it's really nice. It's really. I think it's like old Crafty Hen, but nicer. It's been around longer. It came out first. I can think of 3 beers that all have that same really deep, rich, fruity taste to them. It's Innocent Gun, Old Crafty Hen, and it's one of Fuller's. 1845. That's it. Fuller's 1845. Have you ever had that?
I have.
What did you think? May remember.
It's not my favourite.
Oh.
I found it to be a bit too thick. I like a lighter ale. But
then it's you like Old Crafty Hen. That surprises me because I think they're very similar. Well, Innocent Gun is it's clearer and it's lighter. I think you'd really like it. The bottles are
it sounds like it.
Small. The bottles are a bit smaller, but they're I'll send you a picture on one. Give me a tick. Obviously I've got a bottle, right? Well, back in one moment.
As you can see, I don't know what this team was thinking. They were just terrible. The one before that almost beat me. No, two videos ago, that team almost beat me, but they really messed up their end game. This team here, they're just terrible. Yeah, welcome back.
So I just had to go and grab this thing out the fridge. Yeah, it's Scottish. This one. I'll put it. Hang on, here we are. Oh, it's in selfie mode. Ugh, no thanks. Fun's all blurry. Come on, focus, you hit. That'll do. Right, there we are. So that's sent. Were we gonna? It's 5th of November tomorrow, Guy Fawkes Day.
Yeah. Could
Oh,
briefly discuss why we celebrate the time a guy almost blew up Parliament? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. You have to first. My only thought about it is, it's stunning to think how deep people's religion, people's particular Christian faith, Catholic or Protestant, just what a massive issue that was. I mean, it must have been tied in with loads of other things like culture, politics, allegiances, and countries and things like that. But anyway, Richard, go for it.
What?
Go for it.
Well, yeah, like I said, you know, I forget when it was. It was during the Elizabethan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. When Queen Elizabeth I was queen, this
No,
bloke
it was King James Parliament. The king was King James.
Well, why did you agree with me when I said Elizabethan then?
Because sorry, I've just realised. I just thought, hang on, wait, was it? I've just checked myself, that's all. Sorry.
Yeah, I couldn't remember who was king or queen. Anyway, point is, bloke named Guy Fawkes and his band of merry men hatched a plan to blow up Parliament. To do this, they got a bunch of gunpowder and put it under Parliament, and they were caught like the night before. It was a very close run thing.
Yeah.
Personally, I've never understood why we celebrate it at all. It strikes me as a very British holiday that we would celebrate failure.
Well, it's not failure, it's a victory because firstly the king.
It is, and he didn't blow anything up.
Well, the fact that we foiled, the fact that they're the bad. History's written by the victors, right? And the bad guys were the bad guys are the people who are opposed to the king, obviously. And I'm not saying. I'm not saying that sarcastically. I just mean that matter of factly. Anyone who tries to block the King of England is going to be the bad guy. And what it was is they were Catholics, and the Catholic Church was like Rome and France and kind of could have represented invasion or something. I mean, it was a I need to. I'm not.
Gabby's saying it's because they're celebrating Protestant majority.
Well, they are celebrating. They are celebrating. I need to find out where in history this is.
It strikes to me that he didn't blow anything up, so why are we celebrating it?
Okay, well, so hang on, right? 1606. So hang on. This is This is 1606. The Spanish Armada was 1588.
Yeah,
so
that was a victory. We should celebrate that.
Well, yes. But again, that's Protestantism over Catholicism because Philip II of Spain was Catholic. So these people would have wanted the Spanish Armada to win. Guy Fawkes would have if he was alive, he would have wanted that. He would have supported. Most likely supported. This is like, say, communism and capitalism in the Cold War. If you were an arch communist in America or England in the 1950s, you wanted Russia to take over. You wanted every country in the world to become communist and Britain to become allies with Russia. You know, and they'd have wanted Britain to become Catholic and allies with Spain and Italy. Well, Italy probably wasn't. No, I know Italy wasn't one country back then, and that happened in the 1800s. So,
Anyway,
yeah. So it's that. So that's why we celebrate it. It's because these, it's basically Guy Fawkes was a traitor of the highest order. He was
no. Trying to blow up Parliament is not treachery. That's like good thinking. That's what we should be thinking now.
But I tell you, there's an interest that if you think that, there's a really interesting documentary on BBC iPlayer all about the last 4 years in Westminster politics. There's also, but let's face it. Look at us. We must be the laughing stock of the world. We had a prime minister that had wild parties at number 10 Downing Street.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. Boris Johnson did that.
And lied to Parliament about it.
But, okay, at least he was elected. The last 3 prime ministers have not been elected at all. Well, Theresa May, I guess. But no, she wasn't, because she had to break the Good Friday Agreement and side with the union.
Well, she called a general election that was hers to lose and lost.
Lost it. And only won by breaking the Good Friday Agreement, which I still, something should have happened there. I'm sorry. But a lot of people died for that.
I know she had to make this alliance with the DUP to give herself a majority in Parliament.
Yeah.
But what could you say? We're gonna have to wrap up soon. So what was this breaking of the Good Friday Agreement? I don't really know what the Good Friday Agreement represents.
The Good Friday Agreement was basically the result of the Troubles, and that whole thing was basically that England would no longer get involved whatsoever in Irish politics, and by siding with a paramilitary organisation that wants Northern Ireland to remain part of England, the Irish argued that Theresa May was breaking the Good Friday Agreement, which she was. Let's just be honest. And she shouldn't have been allowed, was allowed, and that for me is just it. She wasn't elected properly. I can't even remember the one after her.
After Theresa May?
Yeah, it was the idiot, wasn't it? It was that moron woman.
It went straight to Boris Johnson, then it was Liz Truss, then Rishi Sunak.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah. Boris Johnson was elected because of the oven-ready deal. He was properly elected. Liz Truss wasn't elected, and neither was Rishi Sunak. Are we actually going to have a general election anytime soon? Because, we really need to get rid of the Tories.
Yeah, next year.
Okay.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I cannot believe what comes out of Suella Braverman's mouth. The things she says, you would not possibly believe she was a second-generation immigrant. She's halfway to speaking about it all the way Enoch Powell used to. I mean, she's vile to her own people, basically. It's big. I can't believe that she says the things she says, and I can't believe that I can't believe she says what she says, and I can't believe that no one stops her from saying it.
Yeah,
the Tories are just in more and more trouble with sleaze after sleaze. I mean, a Tory MP has just had the whip revoked for racist comments that he's been found guilty
definitely
of. Definitely
making. Yeah.
My word, the whole thing's unbelievable.
We don't have free speech in England, Gavin. It's not a thing over here. But yeah, as Tom said, we're going to be wrapping things up here. We will return next week, despite the hopes of many. It's good night from Tom, and it's good night from me.
Good
Good
night,
night.
everyone. Cheers, Gabby. Cheers, guys.